Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. To listen, scream, and embrace your horror obsession, I'm your host Eleazar, and in this episode, Margo joins me to talk all things Abigail. How did dance shape the script? What are the rules of this vampire world? And could the marketing have been done better? If you'd like to follow us, all our links in the description. Next week on the podcast, The Mist. But until then, a film that just might make you appreciate the sunlight, Abigail. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Nightmare Echoes. I'm your host, Eleazar. I'm joined again by co-host Margo. Margo, how's it going?
Hello, going good. Going great.
Today, we're covering Abigail. It came out in 2024. It's an hour and 49 minutes. It's directed by the Radio Silence team, Matt and Tyler, who did VHS, Ready or Not, Scream 5 and 6. We've covered VHS and Ready or Not already in the podcast, and we'll be covering Scream 5 and 6
I
this
haven't
October.
seen VHS, but I saw Ready or Not.
Yeah, it's good though. VHS is good. Like anthologies, I like them because it's little short things, and it really didn't have time
I
to watch it all at once.
I listened to your guys' recap.
Yeah, right, yeah, it's fun,
So
and
it's
that was
almost like I watched it.
that was a long recap because it's six segments. It's a long movie.
Right?
Yeah. It was written by Steven Shields and Guy Busick, who wrote or worked on Ready or Not and Scream 5 and 6. Starring Melissa Barrera as Joey. She's from Scream 5 and 6 and a movie called Your Monster.
Yeah. Have you seen that?
No, I haven't seen it yet. It's a love story, right?
It's a weird genre. It's kind of a romantic comedy, sorta, but also it's literally a monster.
Sure.
Literally a monster. So I think it's been described as a horror romance, but I wouldn't say it was scary at all. But
I know that
it also has singing in it. It's such an interesting mashup. And I have to say that actress Melissa Barrera,
yeah,
she's got a really good voice. Singing voice.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Yeah, I like to see her successful. I really like her in Scream 5 and 6. Unfortunately, due to political reasons, she was fired from going on to Scream 7.
Yeah.
So, yeah. We got Dan Stevens as Frank. He's from Downtown Abbey, but I know him from Cuckoo. Was that Matthew?
Matthew. Downton Abbey.
Okay. I haven't seen it, but I have seen Cuckoo, which he was in. That's pretty good.
He was in that show, Legion.
Oh, okay.
Did you see that show?
I didn't.
You should watch it. It's really weird.
Okay.
So I guess Legion is a character in X-Men comic books, I think. As we always say, this is not a comic book podcast, and so I do not have like encyclopedic knowledge about them. I believe in the comics he's the son of Charles Xavier, Professor X, I believe.
Okay.
Anyway, the show is bananas, so you should check it out.
All right. Okay. I'll put her on the list.
It's cool. All right. Continue on.
Alicia Weir as Abigail. She was in Matilda the Musical. William Collette as Rickles. He was in something called Never Let Go.
And I did know.
Yeah. Catherine Newton as Sammy. We seen her in Ant-Man 3, Freaky, Lisa Frankenstein, and Ready or Not 2.
Yeah, Freaky we covered already.
And
she had that great ponytail.
Oh, right. Yeah. And we'll cover Lisa Frankenstein later.
Okay, yeah.
Oh, and we covered the first Ready or Not, but she's going to be in the sequel.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. Kevin Durand as Peter. He was in Kingdom of the Planet of the Apes, Lock and Key, but I remember him most from Stargate SG-1 as one of the Goa'uld. Although he was only
like in an X-Men movie too.
That's possible. He's doing a lot of work.
So he's been in a lot of movies. So yeah, he's like one of those character actors who's in a lot of things. Angus
Cloud as Dean, who was in Euphoria and passed away before this movie released.
Oh, I didn't know who he was either. I had never watched Euphoria.
And then Giancarlo Esposito as Lambert. Yeah. He's Maxine, The Boys, Mandalorian, Maximum Overdrive.
He's in a lot of stuff. Obviously, Breaking Bad and.
Oh yeah, his credits go on forever.
Yeah.
And then Matthew Good as father, who is from
the very end of the movie. So this is funny. So Dan Stevens. First off, they have both Dan Stevens and Matthew Good have vampire connections.
Okay.
Because Dan Stevens was in this movie that I just watched recently. It was a 2012 movie called Vamps. Have you heard of this movie?
No.
It's a comedy with Alicia Silverstone and Kristen Ritter, and they play roommates who are vampires. And then, but it's like a comedy, and they're living their life. But then Kristen Ritter starts dating Dan Stevens' character, and his family's
Right.
like are vampire hunters. But it's a funny movie. It's not a horror at all. And
Okay.
then Matthew Good. Oh, he plays a vampire in Discovery of Witches.
Oh, okay.
A hunky vampire.
Okay.
He's not hunky. He's not too hunky in this.
Yeah, he looks. Yeah,
He's
he doesn't
very
look
hunky.
good.
He's very hunky in Discovery of Witches.
That's funny. Good to know.
Yeah, so check
Uh,
that out. Check that out, listeners.
Right. Still never read that third book.
Oh, I never read it either. Oh no, I did the third book.
Yeah.
It's not that great. Sorry.
Right. Well,
Sorry,
the second
people who
book
like it.
killed me. I liked the first book a lot.
The first book was really good. The second
Yeah.
book was like too much historical like fantasy for me.
Yeah,
And
that's
what is
exactly
this?
where
And
I
then
was
the
at.
third book got weirdly into like DNA. I don't know. I didn't like it. I was just like, what is happening? but the TV show, I think it's very hunky. So,
Right.
check it
So
out.
it had a budget of $28 million and made $42.8 million, which they consider not a profit.
Oh.
From I guess what they put into marketing and advertising.
Mhm.
I think the movie needs to make twice its budget to be considered breaking even.
Mhm.
So they're saying they lost money.
I wonder why people didn't want to see it.
I
Did it
don't
get
know,
bad reviews?
I don't know, but there's a few vampire movies before things like Sinners
Mhm.
and Nosferatu recently came out.
Mhm.
Before that, a lot of vampire movies were just losing money, like that Nicolas
Oh,
Cage one
they're
that we
like,
covered.
oh yeah.
Um,
I mean,
what was-
though that one was kind of bad.
yeah,
Look, we had fun.
yeah, it was
It was
fun.
kind of bad.
Okay,
I don't think it was as bad.
and then Voyage of the Demeter also lost
Oh
a
yeah,
lot of
that's
money.
right.
Yeah.
That's right. Well, also, I wonder if it wasn't marketed very well, even though they probably put a lot
Well,
of
a
money
lot
into
of people were really passionately upset, thinking that the twist was the point of the movie, and they show you the
this
twist
movie.
in the trailer, right?
Oh, well,
Because it's
yeah,
49 minutes into the movie, and the movie is
true.
filmed straight like you don't know.
That's
So
interesting. I wonder what the experience would be like if you don't know
if you
going
showed it to
in.
someone that has no idea,
Yeah.
right? Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. I haven't met anybody that did because it was spoiled in the trailer.
Yeah,
But I think,
that was what the trailer was about.
yeah, but I think it's a funny movie and it's got some good action, and the
Mhm.
characters are all, in my opinion, well developed.
I actually enjoyed this movie. Like, yeah, is it gonna win an Oscar? No, obviously not. It's kind of campy and like gory, but it was fun. And I like you said, I think the characters were good.
Right. So
There
I
was
think,
nothing that I'm like, ugh. And I wasn't bored. It was kind of a long movie for what it was, and it was still pretty
it
fun
is.
all the way through.
Yeah, but I think people didn't go to see it because they're like, oh, though they already ruined it for me, why would I go see it? And so that's why I think people didn't go. But I like it. Okay.
Okay.
The movie starts. We got Abigail dancing on a stage to Tchaikovsky's Swan Lake.
Tchaikovsky.
And we see Joey in the alleyway. We see that she pulls out a lollipop from a small paper bag until this 2011 Ford Explorer comes to pick her up. It's an SUV. She puts the lollipop back away, and then she pulls out a gun.
Yeah, I was like, who keeps a dum dum? That's
I
not a
guess-
high tier candy.
I guess
It's
she's
just
afraid to
throw
run
it
out.
away.
We kind of
Throw it
cover
away.
it. We kind of
I
cover it,
guess,
though.
but a dum dum, I'm just like, no. Look, this is somebody who keeps candy around at all times, but a dum dum,
I have
no.
2 Reese's Big Cups right here for when I need them.
Well, yeah, but that's a
That's a
top
good
tier
candy.
candy. Like a dum
Exactly.
dum. To harp on this point, but it's gonna be sticky on the wrapper, and the paper's gonna stick to it.
Oh, you're right. You're right.
So,
In the van, Frank seems to be sizing up Joey and Peter. Peter wants to know how the temperature is for everybody, and Frank tells him just worry about driving. Joey pulls out a small box, and we see that it has 2 syringes in it. In another van, which is a 2004 Ford.
oh wait, I just want to mention we don't actually know anyone's name at this point.
That's true. We'll discover their given
Yeah,
names.
so none of them know each other. They've been put together like a heist kind of thing.
Right.
So yeah, nobody knows anybody at this point. And also Dan Stevens, who's usually pretty hunky, looks pretty funny in this movie. He's
does.
has his hair slicked back with like 80s mafia stuff. I don't know how to describe it. And then he has these really dark black rimmed glasses on. Maybe
Right.
he looks funny.
I still think he is an attractive man, but I see what
Of
you're
course,
saying.
it is those baby blues.
So yeah, we'll find out the names that they're given so that they can hide each other's identity in a little bit.
Yeah, but it's easier to just refer to them at this point by
Right, right.
their
So this other van has decorations on it like it belongs to a plumbing company, and inside is the hacker named Sammy who uses a laptop to turn off all the cameras around this house. Rickles pulls up a mask to cover his
Oh, and that's
lower
what's her
face.
name?
Sammy is Catherine
What's her
Newton.
name for Freaky? Yeah, Catherine Newton.
Catherine Newton, yeah,
Mhm.
yeah. And then Rickles pulls up his mask to cover his lower face and gets out, and Dean is behind the wheel now. He looks really bored. We see Rickles get up to the roof, and he has a sniper rifle. He's looking at the grounds, trying to get a lay of the house. We find out they have no idea whose house this is. We see a chauffeur waiting for Abigail, who opens the door. She's got a lot of money because she gets into a 2018 Rolls Royce Phantom.
That's how I knew it too.
Right? Yeah, like, wow.
No, just kidding.
Oh, well, she also had
She had like a
massive,
chauffeur, and yeah,
a
she goes into
massive
this
stage.
beautiful, right? She goes to this beautiful house or whatever,
Yeah, well, then that stage, no one was there to watch her,
right?
and they just
In like
could
an
rent this
actual
beautiful
ballet
stage.
theater,
Yeah,
yeah, for her practice or whatever.
yeah. So they all go. Frank, Joey, and Peter go inside Abigail's bedroom, waiting for her to show up. And Joey's not happy when she finds out that they're kidnapping a child. We see Abigail come in. She gets a phone call, and Frank has to stop Peter from taking action until she's off the phone. She does hear a creak of the door, but then finishes her call and then starts to write in her diary. This is when a hand grabs her mouth and she stabs Frank with the pencil. Peter tackles her and holds her under the bed, and Joey has to stop Frank from punching her in the face. Frank makes room so Joey can use his syringes to knock Abigail out. Rickles sees through his scope of his rifle that someone's coming to the house, and so they think it might be the father. And so they're saying, it's okay, we'll be out of the house in a few seconds, but they had to change the exit. So they have to get Sammy to open up this other driveway door so they can escape in this. I guess they only leave in one van this time.
Yeah.
I guess they left one of them behind. On the way there, Joey checks Abigail's blindfold. Dean is driving erratically, and Joey goes to check Frank's wound. He tells her thank you, but if she grabs him again, he will have to respond. And she says, like, okay, she'll make note of that or something. But he kind of sounds like an asshole.
I feel like the other guy says that too, right? The muscle guy. Later on,
Oh, okay.
I just noticed it. Like, oh, okay, you did it too, dude. Like
Yeah,
everyone's
right.
like,
Yeah.
get your hands off me.
Sammy guides Dean on the route that is camera free, but he chooses to get behind a Freightliner truck to block the camera view. And everybody's freaking out, like, no, I told you to turn left. And then they're all impressed with how he drove, or at least Sammy's impressed. Then they go to this mansion type house. They see the coast is clear. There's a lot of vines everywhere. And
Yeah, it's
Lambert
like
is,
an old, looks like an old tiny mansion. Like a
yeah,
really old house.
yeah. Well, but it seems massive inside.
Oh, huge. Yeah,
Yeah.
huge.
Oh, I thought
I
you
would say
said
it's just
tiny.
like old.
Oh, I thought
Did I
you said
say tiny?
tiny.
No.
Did you? You might have said type.
I don't
Maybe
remember. Oh, I said old tiny.
old timey. Thank you. Okay, I apologize. I was like, is
It's
it
fine.
tiny?
Tiny.
Like,
No.
and then Lambert's there, who's played by John Carlo Esposito. He's waiting for them. He tells them to get inside the house, and they find a room for the girl. And Rickles goes to find a lookout position. Lambert goes over the rules: no real names, no backstories, and keep the grab ass to a minimum. He tells them it's only a 24-hour job, and they already did the hard part because now they should have to babysit. He assigns Joey as the only one to see the girl, so she never has to hear more than one voice. When Lambert asks questions, Joey wants to know who the girl is, and he says that she doesn't need to know. Joey clarifies that she doesn't care about her name, but she wants to know whose kid she is. And Frank doesn't like the question, but Lambert answers, her father is a very wealthy man that's going to be $50 million poorer tomorrow.
They're keeping her for rent.
Right. Lambert says in order to make sure they're not tracked, he wants to collect everybody's cell phones. No one's excited about it, but Sammy works to text as fast as she can, fighting to let go of the phone before she hits enter. It's kind of funny.
Yeah. She's like younger than, well, I don't know if she literally is. She plays younger than everybody else.
She does, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
And
she's probably the same age, around the same age as the other actress, Melissa Brewer, but
yeah, maybe. Yeah.
Yeah. She plays like more carefree and
yeah.
Yeah.
And then Joey looks at a picture of her son before giving up her phone.
Yeah, when I saw that, I'm like, is that her brother or her son? I don't know at this point, but it's definitely a child. We learn later it's definitely her son.
Right. As Lambert is leaving, Peter asks why can't they use their real names, and Frank tells him because if any of them get caught, they can't rat out the others. Dean asks like Peter's a dumbass, but Peter tells him he asked the same question in the van. So in order to appease Lambert, he assigns them all names. The sniper Wriggles is the one that figures out he's naming them all after the Rat Pack, which is Joey, Frank, Rickles, Sam, Peter, Dean.
Yeah. So Dean is the driver. Sammy is the hacker. Joey is kind of our main character, but she's like the person who used the...
She's a medic.
Yeah, she's had the syringes.
Frank's kind of the guy in charge.
Frank is in charge. Now. What is he doing? Nothing. He's just in charge. Rickles is the gun guy. And
Peter's the muscle.
Oh, yeah, Peter's the muscle.
Right. But for anybody that doesn't know, in case they don't know about the original Rat Pack, it was comprised of a lot of actors and musicians. So we have Dean Martin, Peter Lawford, Frank Sinatra, Joey Bishop, and Sammy Davis Jr. Don Rickles himself never received an official membership card, but he was in a lot of the films with them, like Ocean's 11.
Unofficial Rat Packer.
Yeah.
But there's a funny line that Giancarlo Esposito says something like "goodbye rats" or something like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then Peter, who's like kind of a dumb, tough guy, he's like, "Why are you calling us rats?" And then later, like a lot later, he's like, "Oh, the Rat Pack."
I get it now. Yeah.
But it kind of has a second meaning because they're like rats in a trap.
Yeah, exactly.
Getting hunted by the cat.
He gets it like an hour into the film.
Yeah.
It's awesome. He also tells them that they have plenty of rooms with fresh linens and the kitchen is fully stocked.
Now, at this point, they should be real suspicious, in my mind.
Yeah?
Because why do they all need to be there to watch one small child? Or like, I don't know how old she's supposed to be, but...
I think I wouldn't trust the rest of the group. If I was this criminal in this mindset, I wouldn't be like, all right, I'm going to leave Frank with everybody. I'll trust he'll give me my money tomorrow. I'm going to go out.
Yeah, but Giancarlo Esposito's the one giving them money, right? And he's already gone.
Sure, but they have the girl. If they left Frank with the girl and Giancarlo Esposito's getting the money, there's no reason that they have to give them the money tomorrow.
About that. I guess that's true. Because I'm like, why does the hacker and the driver need to still be there?
I mean, that's the only reason I think I would stay.
I would be the driver so I could skedaddle out of there. Bye-bye.
The group makes over to the room with a bar and a pool table. Everyone's drinking, and the group invites Joey to drink with them, but she says she's got to see the girl in a little bit, and she might have one later. Dean, who's riding around in a kid's bicycle, says that no party poopers are allowed anyway. The group all guesses who the girl's father is, which leads Dean to asking Joey her opinion, and then asks for some of her candy, but she tells him to get his own. Dean tells her that she grew up with a lot of brothers and sisters because he's an expert at reading people, then proceeds to describe the whole crew. She points out that he got nothing right, so Frank pops out with a $100 bill and says, I'll give you this $100 bill if you can name one thing about me. She doesn't want to. I think Dean says something like, that's what I thought, or something. Then she goes to get it, and she says that he used to be a cop, and given how he stands, how he walks, that he uses a Glock. You were right on that. He used police signals back at the house. She adds that he's too smart to be a street cop, that he needs to be in control, so he's probably a detective, but doesn't know if he's homicide or vice. Then she also says he tries to hide it, but he's from Queens.
Which I'm like, no fucking way. Dan Stevens does not sound like he's from Queens. He sounds like he's from England doing an American accent. That's what he sounds like.
That's because he's trying to hide it, Margo.
Oh, he's trying to use a weird British accent hybrid to hide that he's from Queens.
And you never suspected.
Oh, wow. You're right. I wouldn't have suspected it.
Then Peter claps and he's so excited, like, do me next. She says she kind of feels bad for taking his money because he's obviously muscle. She says he's from Quebec. He flexes his pecs, which is funny. She says he probably got bullied in school and probably at home too. But then when he got bigger, he turned the tables on everybody and used it to get a job. Peter doesn't stop laughing. Sammy pulls out a 20, asking what that'll get her. And Joey says, that's funny since she comes from money. She says that she does. Joey says that Sammy does it for kicks and tells herself that she only uses a keyboard and not a gun. She must think she's not as bad as the other people. Joey goes to Rickles, who has no cash. She tells him she'll leave it at this and says Simplify, which I had to look up, but is the motto for the U.S. Marine Corps and is short for Semper Fidelis, which is Latin, which means always faithful. And I apologize for my pronunciation of Latin.
Guess what? It's a dead language, so nobody knows how it's
No one
pronounced.
knows, right? Yeah. Dean says she forgot about him, and he starts to get money out of his fanny pack. He also seems to have found candy on his own.
I love that fanny pack, by the way.
He's got a lot in it. Yeah.
Well, no, it's cool. It has like a shark.
Oh, the way it's decorated?
Yeah.
Okay. She says that he's not going to like what she has to say, and she tells him that he's not a professional. He says he's the best wingman in town, and she says she doesn't doubt that, but he's got loose wiring, and it probably makes him a psychopath.
She actually said sociopath, and why I remember that is because there's no such thing as a sociopath. It's a psychopath. That's a commonly misused phrase. Okay. I mean, right. I'm just saying you can't diagnose a sociopath, but a psychopath is an actual diagnosis. Just saying.
Why does the word exist, Margo?
Well, it has a meaning, I guess. It just means you're a psycho. Like you're just a loose cannon.
All right. Then we see where Joey goes to check on Abigail. Right off the bat, she gives in to a request to remove the blindfold and then moves her handcuffs to the front of her body and recuffs them. Joey does her best to comfort her, saying that if she listens to them, everything will be fine. Abigail asks her to promise that she won't let anybody hurt her, and Joey says that she will do one better and puts out her pinky to make it a pinky promise.
Pinky promises are bullshit.
Oh, whoa, Margo, that don't destroy people's... What do you mean?
There's nothing keeping you from keeping a pinky promise.
That little finger right there. What do you recommend? Blood exchanges? Those are bad. Margo.
Anyway, guess what? Nobody kept that pinky promise.
She said she's trying her best. We'll get there. She's like, you promised. She's like, I'm trying my best here.
Yeah, at this scene, you see that. What? Go ahead.
I was going to say, at the end, she sticks out her pinky and she does jump to her defense. I think she did her best the whole movie to protect Abigail.
At certain points more than others.
Yeah.
At this interaction, you see that Joey is very sympathetic because she's a kid.
Oh, because Abigail's a kid.
Yeah, because
right. I got it. Okay, yeah.
So she's being very nice to her.
Yeah, Abigail asked for her name. She says she can't give it, but then
should have kept her sedated.
Well, she only had one more syringe.
That's true. She should have brought a lot.
Yeah.
Then guess what? This movie would have been a lot easier.
After 24 hours, no one's here with the money. What's going on?
Yeah. Guess I'll leave. Bye.
Right.
I'm gonna take Giancarlo Esposito to large claims court to pay out my money.
Look, I kidnapped a kid.
We had a contract. Yeah, where's my money? I didn't get paid for services rendered.
That's funny. So she tells her she can call her Joey, and she asks if she has any kids, and she says she has a son, but she can't tell Abigail her son's name. So Abigail makes one up and calls him Justin. She asks what Justin is like, and Joey only gives vague answers that he's a normal kid and likes normal kid stuff. Abigail doesn't seem to know much about that because her father has always wanted a kid, but then he lost interest. As Joey's about to walk out, Abigail tells her that she's sorry for what's going to happen to her.
The other thing is, I didn't pick up at this, but from this answer, you know that Joey does not know her son very well. But I didn't pick up on it. I just thought she was just being vague to not give any information.
That's what I thought too. Yeah, right.
But I think maybe we're supposed to know that she does not know what her kid likes.
Right. Sammy and Peter are playing a game where they're flipping coins, and if they miss, they have to take a shot. Peter pretends like he doesn't want to drink, and Sammy is really good at flipping the coins in the glass. He's complimenting her tattoos and asks about meanings, but she reminds him that they're not supposed to get personal. Joey comes back in, and Frank asks, how's the kid? And she says the girl's fine, but then tells Frank that she doesn't need to know who the girl's father is, but asks if he knows. And I guess I missed saying it, but somewhere in there, she implied that her father's a very violent man.
Oh, yeah.
Abigail.
Well, because she said, I think because of when she said, I'm sorry for what's going to happen to you.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
And so
I guess that spooks Joey. She's like, what does that mean?
Yeah. She tells Frank that she doesn't get spooked easily. So when she does, she likes to pay attention. And Frank thinks she would just make that up because she would want them to let them go. Mm-hmm. Then we back at Sammy and Peter. Sammy accuses Peter of being bad on the game on purpose so he can drink more. He throws the coin completely behind him and then laughs. And Sammy laughs too as he takes a drink.
There's a lot of drinking on the clock. I'm going to tell you that.
Well, he told him it's a fully stocked bar.
Yeah, I guess they think they're just have a 12-year-old just up in the room. I mean, not much to do.
So we focus on Frank, who looks pensive because Joey made him think about the father. He goes in Abigail's room, which he's not supposed to do according to the rules, but then he's pissed off when he opens the door and sees that she's not wearing the blindfold because he didn't wear his mask. He covers his face with his jacket, turns around, pulls his gun out, and demands that she tell him the color of his eyes, and she keeps crying, saying that she didn't see his face. He asks who her father is. She says she's not supposed to tell, but he demands anyway, so she says that her father is Christophe Lazar, and he gets freaked out.
Just one little peek of those baby blues, and you'd remember seeing those babies. Oh, yeah.
That's funny. I couldn't tell what color they were. I was too busy seeing my children in those eyes. Frank goes back to see the others and starts collecting his stuff, saying that he's going to leave and they can cut up his share. The whole group follows Joey as she goes after him, and he explains to them what's going on. He tells them that the girl is Christophe Lazar's daughter, and everyone besides Sammy seems to know who that is. Dean comes out saying that Lazar is an urban legend, but Frank says that he knows that he is real. Sammy asks if he's a crime boss, and Rickles says that he controls a lot more than crime. Joey thinks that Lambert must be insane because they all have a death mark on them, including Lambert. Sammy thinks they should just give her back and say sorry, but Frank sarcastically plays out the scenario. Joey says they should just leave her with food and water and I'll just leave because the girl hasn't seen their faces. And Frank says that they're wrong because Joey took off the blindfold. Peter's like, oh, that's not cool, Joey. But Frank wasn't supposed to go in the room anyway.
Yeah, exactly. I guess you should have put a sign on the door that says, don't enter, blindfold off.
Yeah, there you go.
No.
Peter thinks they have to kill the girl, which Joey won't stand for. Rickles says that even if Lazar finds Frank, he doesn't know anything about them. But Peter points out that he actually knows all about them since Joey did her little trick telling everybody who they are. But Frank, who's blaming her for this.
Wait, who? But why would she know though?
Oh, no, because if they caught any one of them,
I see.
now that Joey did her trick.
Yeah. But they're the ones who tried to get her to do
that's
it.
What I'm saying, right?
Yeah.
Peter's like not cool, and Frank's blaming her for doing her trick, but Frank's the one that tempted her with the $100 bill to do the trick. So, I mean, they're just looking for a scapegoat because they're pissed off, I guess.
Yeah.
Dean pipes in saying that they just leave her there. They don't get any of the money, adding that he really needs the money. Joey asks Frank how much he trusts Lambert, and he says it's enough, but it's a big risk. She points out that they all get $7 million each. He says they could just act like they didn't know when Lambert shows up, and then they could all disappear and have a new life. Frank tells everyone that all threats will come from outside, and that Rickles should take watch from the crow's nest. Joey should search the house for any other ways in or out. Then he says they have 22 hours left. So we cut to Joey searching all over the house, and she hears some thudding noises and finds her way into a beautiful library. Inside, there's a window with flaps that are knocking against each other, and she pulls on some rope so they stay open.
It's like window shades.
Right. She sees a nice statue of a man and a little girl, and the man is wearing the same hat that we saw Abigail's father wearing earlier when they were at the house. Although we find out later that's not really her father, just someone pretending to be her father.
Yeah.
Right.
But also, yeah, she doesn't notice it. I don't really.
She doesn't, right?
It looks like Abigail.
Right. Dean is the one that notices first.
Yeah. Well, he sees does he see the same thing or something?
I think sees paintings on the wall.
Oh, yeah.
Like old paintings of Abigail's face, but in like an old timey setting.
Yeah, right. Okay, so everyone knows, right, that Abigail's a vampire. Okay, we were talking about how the trailer tells you.
Yeah,
so this is not a huge spoiler. I'm going to just outright say it. But why would a vampire have a house with so many freaking windows?
I don't know. I've never thought that.
I was thinking. I'm like, why do you block out all the windows?
Maybe it's hard to pay someone to construct something without windows.
So she's a vampire. Why doesn't she paste some newspaper to the windows or whatever? Block them out, girl.
Oh. It would ruin the twist, Margo. No, just kidding. No. Joey goes in and listens into Riggle's room. As she's walking away, he had heard her and he comes out. He invites her in, but she says that she can't because she has this reputation of being a professional.
I don't understand this interaction. It was super weird.
It's like they almost were willing to hook up,
but that's so out of character.
Yeah.
For both of them, it seems. And out of nowhere, at this point, I think, oh, do they know each other?
Yeah.
Because they both talk about like they were both in the military or something. I'm like, but no, they don't know each other at all. Because then he's like, oh, you were in something military too.
And then I think they use that military background to say that they're the only two that can trust each other.
Yeah.
Even though Well, we find out they all have complicated pasts, I guess.
But also, it like does not come into play at all. So I don't know what that was about. But whatever.
Maybe it doesn't come into play because he died so fast.
Maybe, but why even have that scene? It was super weird. Is it just to show that she was also from the military? Like, who cares?
It could be, yeah.
I don't know. But anyway.
Well, I mean, I guess it's important to her backstory eventually.
Yeah.
But the romance thing is a little weird.
Yeah, it was strange.
Yeah. She tells him she was thinking the same thing. They can look out for each other. And it looks like he's slowly going in for a kiss, but she backs away and turns away to walk away. We see Sammy settling into her room. She turns on an old TV, and we have Woody Woodpecker cartoon on the TV.
Yeah, it's cool how in movies you always can get reception, and all they play are public domain cartoons. You know,
is Woody Woodpecker in the public domain?
Yes, that's why they can show it without paying any royalties. But you've never seen Woody Woodpecker or like Betty Boop or whatever on an actual TV, but they're always in movies. Anytime a child is watching cartoons, almost always it's one of these like old public domain cartoons.
That's funny. Yeah, it's always Gravity Falls and when I walk in the living room.
Well, that's not.
I do love that cartoon.
Disney is extremely litigious.
Oh yeah,
they're gonna come after you for those royalties.
Yeah, you're not wrong at all.
I do love Gravity Falls though.
Yeah, it's good.
Since we mentioned it, I'm going to mention my favorite quote from Gravity Falls, which is he says, "Anything's legal if you don't get caught."
That's funny.
I'm pretty sure Grunkle Stan says that.
So as she is on the bed, we see that Dean is in the back of the bed wearing a creepy mask, and he scares her. She gets all pissed off. Yeah. And keeps yelling at him. He was like, "Oh, I thought we were kind of vibing and we can like hook up." And she's like, "What are you talking about? Are you crazy? Get out of my room." He's like, "You sure?" Like, "Get the fuck out of my room." And she's pissed off because he scared the shit out of her. Mm-hmm. But he's acting like a creep.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Dean then goes out of the room and finds that Peter's passed out. He checks if he's really out before going to his fanny pack. He pulls out a Sharpie and he starts to draw on his face. Mm-hmm. And they don't show us what he's drawing right away.
The classic sleepover prank picture.
Right. Dean walks around lighting a joint using the lighter to look at some art on the wall.
Yeah, I've never seen a lighter give so much light off.
Oh, it's the magic lighter, Margo.
Yeah, it's like illuminates the whole room.
It's obviously a fantastical world.
Yeah.
One picture shows a man, that hat, and he's holding the hand of a little girl. And when Dean looks close to the face at the little girl, he goes, "What the fuck?" Because he recognizes her. Mm-hmm. He finds his way down to what looks like a servant's kitchen.
What do you mean? Also, like, if you were a rich person, you could just have an old-looking painting commissioned for you and your daughter. Yeah. I mean, he is right that it is actually her back in the day.
It's a good point.
Would your mind jump to that? Or would you just be like, "Oh, these weird rich people"?
You're right, because I have like a lot of caricatures where I'm crazy, like drawn as ridiculous stuff. And
if I saw you drawn as a vampire, I'd be like, "Oh, Eleazar's a vampire." No, I'd be like, "Oh, he got a fun drawing."
But it reminds me more of those old timey photos you get where you look like old Western.
Yeah, like when you go. Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Right.
You get dressed up in the old.
And the whole family's there, like wearing overalls and shotguns and stuff. Yeah, that's funny. You're right. That's probably what I would think. So he finds his way to, it looks like the servant's kitchen. When he looks in the fridge, we see an open door behind him, but it looks like no one's there. He walks through that door down to a room that looks like a cellar to store old items, and it's very dark. He almost steps on a rat, which scares him, and he turns away, and when he does, he hears the rat screech in pain and what sounds like a bite. He then is grabbed by the foot and pulled backwards, but we don't see the attack. I don't remember a cat.
We see a cat. I don't know. But this is foreshadowing. Rats.
Right. Sammy hears the screams over the cartoons and goes down to check it out. Calls out for Dean and says he better not be fucking with her again. She walks through the kitchen into the same room, but doesn't take long before she's creeped out and she goes back to the kitchen. Then there is Dean sitting on the table, turned the other way, who wasn't there before. And she screams. She calls him a little shit and goes to kick the chair, which makes his decapitated head roll backwards, and she catches it.
Whoopsies.
She catches it and starts screaming, which I found so funny.
Do you think your impulse would be to catch a head coming off somebody's neck?
I don't know. I mean, something's falling. I do have a tendency to catch things.
That's true, maybe.
It's just, I saved someone once. They were falling off a counter, and I
Oh
just
my gosh,
caught them.
I'm sure I've told you this, but I was making chemotherapy once and I dropped the bottle
Oh my.
and I caught it with my foot. Okay. But I'm just like, why did you do that?
Yeah.
What if you had missed? If you
Yeah.
had missed it, I mean, I was garbed up, but I was like, what if you had missed catching
Yeah.
it and fallen
And
onto
you,
the floor and broke, and now you put your foot next to
right.
it?
Or
Anyway,
you're just
I
as
got
likely to
stabbed by the by the shards of the glass or whatever.
you're just as likely to almost make it and kick it, which if it didn't shatter before,
Oh,
it's now going to shatter against the wall.
maybe. But anyway, well, I caught it, so I guess
All
good.
right.
Good job.
So now there's 5 people in the group that show up. Peter wakes up and the camera's facing in a way we can't see the right side of his face. He shows up with a gun and Sammy is vomiting in the sink. He screams when he sees the body, and then Sammy asks what happened. The whole time the camera is at that weird angle where we can't see his face. When she tells him that Dean's head fell off, we finally see it, and she asks him why he has a dick on his face.
There you
He
go.
doesn't
Classic
understand.
sleepover prank.
Yeah, he doesn't understand. She starts yelling for him to get the rest of the group.
I don't know what he drew that on, but he cleans it off really fast, so it must have not been permanent marker.
Yeah, right. He does. I mean, I would
Yeah.
scrub and scrub.
But even so, yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do with permanent marker on your face.
Sure. With the whole group there, Frank starts to interrogate Sammy, who asks, "Do you think I could do that?" Pointing to the headless body. Joe asks Frank to be honest and tell her what that looks like. He said it looks like a wild animal ripped him apart. So she gives him a look, and he doesn't want to accept what she's implying. Again, Sammy is the one that doesn't understand, and so Joey explains that there's stories about Lazard's hitman. Frank doesn't want to entertain this, but then Joey says that the hitman's name is Valdez. Rickles said that he's heard story about 3 Lazard's men who were flipped, and the day before the trial were kept in a hotel on the 32nd floor, with many officers outside the room protecting them. But when they went in to wake them up, they found them all decapitated. Sammy thinks it's bullshit, but Frank backs up Rickles, saying that he also heard that story. So Joey says they should go check on the girl. Frank says that the only way Valdez could be there is if Lambert gave them up, but Joey says that Lazard could have gotten to him and beaten the location out of him. Frank says if Valdez is there, it's because someone gave them up, and Joey adds that one of them could be Valdez.
Mm.
The group all looks at each
That
other with
doesn't make
suspicion.
any sense.
Yeah, like they were hidden with
Because
them
why? Why? You're
by
joining in
kidnapper.
on the kidnapping?
So you
Why
could
don't
bust
you
its
kill them
operations
before the? Why do you kill them before the kidnapping?
because then you wouldn't know where their hideout was and you wouldn't know who was in charge.
I guess, but then
But you
he
could have
does
killed them
find
all
out.
already.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
I
it
know,
makes no
right?
sense. But whatever.
I know.
They're just getting squirrely. They're getting paranoid.
Yeah. Rickles says they should revisit the cut and run idea. Peter tells Abigail that now that Dean is dead, they all get a bigger share. And Rickles tells Peter that he can have his share. He can be the richest headless man in America, which Peter says, okay. Sammy smacks Peter because Dean just died and he's already making jokes.
Oh, I want to say too that Sammy and Peter have a funny relationship.
I do. I
They
agree.
have like a
brother
little
sister.
sister, big
Yeah.
brother dynamic, which is pretty cute.
Right, exactly. Frank opens the door, sees that she's fine. Rickles points out that just because she's fine doesn't mean that Valdez isn't there, and says that he's out there. And he looks at Joey and asks if she is coming, but she doesn't say anything. They follow Rickles as Joey tries to ask him to stay, but as he opens the front door, we find out that it doesn't matter because he can't leave because there's metal gate barricading the door. Rickles
Yeah,
tries
they can build metal gates blocking every entrance, but they can't black out the windows.
limits, limits. So after he
Maybe
tries
she
a
likes
little,
to give people a sporting chance.
that's what it is. It's not
Yeah.
fun if it's too easy.
Yeah.
Hey, guy, you got to babysit them, but trust me, you need to do it from these cages. Right. Peter asks to let him have a try, and he lines up like he's about to run, and he sprints at the door, smashing it with his shoulder, but it doesn't do anything. And then he tells the group that it's locked. Frank sarcastically says, "Thanks, Peter." And I still find myself laughing every time. I've watched it 4 times now, and I still laugh every time at that part. All right. So that's when they all hear mechanisms that start making barricades all over the place, all over most of the windows, just not that one in the library.
Mm-mm.
Rickles picks up a chair and throws it at the wall, but the chair just shatters. Joey says they're a trap, and Rickles goes to check his rifle, which is gone. Frank says that Valdez must be there, and maybe the girl is in the room to throw them all off. So Joey goes to check. Joey goes back in the room to ask Abigail if anyone besides that man with glasses was in there, and she says no. And when Joey asks her to pinky promises she isn't keeping a secret, Abigail's eyes get watery. Abigail says that the man in the glasses said he would hurt her if she tells. And then eventually, when Joey tells her that she'll protect her, Abigail says that Frank's real name is Valdez. So Rickles opens the door slightly to tell Joey that he needs her, and she gets out there. He tells her about the rifle, and Joey tells him that Frank is Valdez. Rickles thinks it doesn't make any sense because if he worked for Lazard, why would he kidnap his own kid, which you're pointing out.
Yeah.
Joey says it's possible that him and Lambert are planning a power play.
Somebody said like he's too skinny to be Lazard. Or no, to be Valdez. One of them says that. I don't think like he's too skinny. Like there's no way he could
awesome.
be Valdez.
Oh yeah, okay, you're right. Yeah.
Oh, you're
Rickles asks. Okay. Yeah, Rickles asks if she thinks Frank could really rip people apart, and she admits that it doesn't add up. So yeah, but I didn't write that he's too skinny. He asked if she was military, and she says she was a medic. He says that if Frank is Valdez, he would want to know a way out. So Rickles says just give him 6 minutes with Frank, and they'll know a way out. He says that the rest of the group will be made easy to handle with the two of them. He tells her that they need to take different paths out downstairs and meet in the middle, which is always a great idea in horror movies. He says that they will make it out of this, and she says she has to, and he realizes it because she has a kid. They start on their way, but Joey stops when she hears something weird, and she looks back to see Rickles standing funny with his body twitching. She slowly makes her way back to find that his face has a chunk ripped out, and she helps him. Yeah, right. She helps guide him to the floor the way you're trained to safely help a patient fall to the ground of the hospital.
Yeah, back way fast.
Right.
Just let him drop.
It's a guided fall.
I'm not supposed to do a guided fall. I'm too small. We'll probably just both end up on the floor.
Right. I got you. That's what I'm saying. I caught a woman who was falling from the cabinet, and I was very proud of myself to just like actually catch her in my arms and then like set her down. Like, are you okay? Like, that was just, I was a teenager. I was stronger then. So Joey goes downstairs to find Sammy. She pulls a gun out on her and demands to know where Frank is. Joey leads her to the next room where Peter is, and Joey isn't sure who to aim at. Peter tells her not to point the gun at Sammy, so she points the gun at him and asks him if he's seen Frank. That's when Frank comes out of the bathroom complaining about the towel placement and puts his hands up as Joey moves the gun to aim at him. She asks him why he brought them there. He looks to the left and says, "Don't do it, Peter," which Joey turns to aim at him, which gives Frank time to pull out his own gun on Joey, which was a nice trick that worked.
Yeah.
He says to forgive the precaution, but she doesn't seem like she's very calm right now. And he asks Sammy and Peter what she's talking about. Peter says that he thinks that Joey thinks that Frank brought them there to kill him, and he sarcastically thanks him for that fantastic insight. So he asks Joey what she's talking about, and she says that he killed Dean, and the girl told him that he was Valdez, and now he just killed Rickles. Frank says that the junkie let the little girl outsmart her and got them to turn on each other.
That is what happens.
It is, right. Yeah, she's turning them on each other, yeah. Frank then says really loudly, "We're going to have to get rough with her," and Peter says that he'll do it, though he doesn't seem happy about it. As he starts to walk to Abigail, Joey tells him not to go, but she can't do much while continuing to aim at Frank. Peter tells her that it's his job, and Frank says that the team is dropping like flies, and the guest has besmooched his good name, so they have to go figure out why. Frank signals Peter to go, and Joey lowers the gun to run after him. Peter runs in Abigail's room and points the gun at her. Joey runs in to disarm him and has him at his knees in a right arm bar with the gun to his head, which is pretty badass. She got Peter, who's the muscle, down to the ground.
Yeah.
Peter tells Frank to shoot her because she isn't going to kill Peter, but she cocks the gun, to which she says, "I might be wrong." Abigail keeps begging, saying that Joey promised, and Joey tells her she's doing her best. Abigail gets tired of the games and starts to mess with the cuffs, and Sammy's the only one who notices because everybody else is fighting. She keeps trying to tell the team, but they don't want to listen, and Sammy finally yells.
She like dislocated her hand to just pull their hand out of the cuff. She's completely free. And then it like just fixed itself right up. Oh, that doesn't seem normal.
Yeah, exactly. She's finally has to yell, guys. And Frank tells her to shut up, but then notices Abigail is standing on the bed, no longer with cuffs. Frank wants to know how she got out, and Abigail gives a bow with her arms crossed over her head. And when she comes back up, her face is a vampire.
They have like shark teeth.
Yeah, very sharp teeth.
Yeah.
Abigail jumps on Peter, and right before she can bite,
shark teeth, not sharp. I mean, they are sharp.
They're sharp,
like
shark-like teeth.
Like a shark.
I got what you're saying. Do you think there are multiple rows?
Yeah, there were multiple rows. I noticed.
Oh, really? I didn't notice that.
I'm sure. Yeah,
wow, that's creepy.
Maybe it's just like how it kind of looked, like the shady.
It could be.
But yeah.
Abigail jumps on Peter right before she can bite his neck. Frank puts a bullet right through her forehead. Dark blood splatters all over the wall.
And that's that.
Oh, yeah.
Right. They did
it. Woohoo! That was so short. And they all watch as Abigail gets back up and smiles. Sammy runs, and Peter does a Catholic cross, up, down, left, right, before running as well. Both Frank and Joey watch as Abigail wipes away the blood from her forehead. Abigail screeches and comes towards them, and Sammy puts 3 bullets in her chest and 1 in her forehead. Both of them make it out of the room, and Frank locks the door. Downstairs, Joey says...
lock the door. Did it.
Yeah, right. Because she was locked in before. That totally worked.
Yeah, just lock that door. We're good.
Downstairs, Peter says that they kidnapped a fucking vampire, and Sammy adds, a ballerina vampire. Peter...
Let me just pause again and say,
sure.
Would you jump to vampire? I would just say probably be like a monster or something. I don't know that I would have jumped to a vampire.
Oh, yeah. I don't know.
Why do you think they jumped? Well, she is a vampire because...
She is a vampire. They got it right.
But why would they guess that?
Lucky guess? I don't know.
This is just a lucky guess.
Maybe we don't know that they're in a world that they know the vampire. No, that's not true. I was going to say that they know the vampires are real, but they say...
they have a whole conversation about it's not real.
You're right. They have a whole conversation about how it's not real.
Yeah, right. I'm just saying. I don't know why they thought that, but... Because she doesn't look like a classic vampire with just the fangs, and she looks just more like a monster of some kind.
Maybe she was already pale, and they realized that is why.
But they're right. So
Peter says someone's messing with them and must be playing a trick on them. Joey says that he doesn't know anyone that could pull off a trick like that.
That would be a fun twist ending to the movie.
It's all
that
prank?
It was all like movie makeup and stuff, and like everyone popped up alive at the end.
I make this joke all the time, but Ashton Kutcher's around the corner breaking him.
Exactly.
Peter says that at least Valdez isn't here, and Frank calls him a moron, telling him that the little girl is Valdez, but he still seems confused. Frank asks Sammy if she can hack her way out, and she points out that she has no equipment. They would have to find a control room. Then Joey asks what they know about vampires. Peter says that he knows they're not real, but Sammy asks for clarifications and writes True Blood or Twilight. Joey says that they know that they feed off blood.
Dracula.
Right.
Well, name that one, but that's a class. The class.
It's right, but I think that's because this is based on the story Dracula's Daughter. So they might not know the name Dracula in this world, because if Dracula is the vampire from their world, I don't think they know that Dracula exists.
Oh, you think Dracula? You think Matthew? I think
Father. Yeah, I think because he gives this clue later. He says, "I've gone by many names," and I think they weren't allowed to say Dracula.
Yeah,
but they
those rights, baby.
I think. Yeah, but I think they were.
Think somebody owns the rights to Dracula for sure.
Yeah, but it's in the public domain.
Dracula is?
Yeah, I think so.
No, it's not.
It's not?
Or was it? It wasn't at some point. I don't know, because that's the whole reason why they have Nosferatu instead of Dracula.
Yeah, it wasn't. That was then.
Oh, okay.
That was then, but Dracula's so old now.
Oh, yeah, you're right, because they did that Dracula movie in the ship.
Right, the Last Voyage of the Demeter.
Yeah,
right.
Whatever. Anyway.
Yeah.
We're not in the weeds as you should.
Anyway, no, but no, I think that's a good topic, because I think the reason is because they don't know who Dracula is, because
in this universe there's no such thing as Dracula, the story.
Yeah, because he is Dracula, and this is Dracula's daughter, because this is based on the book Dracula's Daughter. Part of it is.
Sure. Could be, yeah.
Because Radio Silence had in an interview a couple of years before this came out that they were thinking of making a movie based on the story of Dracula's daughter. And then they went silent about it for a long time.
Okay, so this is that movie.
Right, yeah. Okay, so Joey asks what they know about vampires.
Oh, yeah, they know that they don't like garlic.
Yeah, they feed off blood.
don't like crosses. And I think sunlight.
Okay.
They mentioned sunlight too, which it's
Yeah.
dark outside, so that's not too helpful.
Sammy thinks they could transform into bats.
Oh yeah.
And
Well,
then
Dracula could transform into like mist and stuff. So
and Wolf and
yeah,
right,
wolf,
yeah.
like bats, mist. He had a
And
lot
then
of powers.
and then Joey mentions that they don't have a reflection.
Yeah.
Peter
Which does
covers
that
his
ever actually come up?
not in
I
this
know
movie.
they test somebody who might be a vampire later on to see, and they're like, "Oh, you still have a reflection, so you're
That's
good."
right, yeah.
But they don't ever show Abigail not having a reflection.
Right, because they're just
So
guessing.
yeah,
They're just
so
guessing because
I'm like,
some
yeah,
worlds they do.
right.
Peter covers his ears like a child, like, I'm not listening to this. Joey asks how they kill a vampire. This is where they say garlic, stake to the heart. Frank says crucifix, and Joey says holy water. I think Frank says, oh, are you a priest now? Like, how are you going to generate holy water?
Yeah.
Yeah, when they say daylight is a big one, he says, well, that's great because it's 3:30 in the fucking morning.
Yeah.
Peter's there saying, shut up, shut up, shut up. Frank grabs him by the throat and says he's either going to help them or he's 270 pounds of dead weight.
Yeah, this is where he said, "Don't touch me."
Oh yeah. I'll help. Just don't touch me again. Right. Frank tells Peter to get to the pull cues and sharpen them. Frank tells Sammy to go to the kitchen and find garlic. Joey and Frank argue over killing her because Joey wants to trade her to Lazard for their lives, but Frank puts his foot down, saying they're going to kill her. When Sammy comes back claiming she's got them, Frank tells her that she grabbed a bag of fucking onions. Which I thought was awesome. She's like, I don't cook.
Somebody wouldn't know what
I
an
don't
onion
cook.
was.
I mean, a rich,
Maybe
like
she's never been in a kitchen before.
she's never been in a kitchen, right? Yeah.
Could be.
Joey says she's not going with him and tells Frank that if he touches her, he will lose his hand.
Okay.
She says she's not going to go help them kill Abigail.
I wouldn't either. Smart.
They're not going to be successful at it. He tells her, fine, go put your feet up. We're going to go after her. But first, we're going to go to the kitchen to find the fucking garlic.
Yeah, that really helped the garlic.
And then he mumbles to himself, fucking onions, like, or something like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So each one of them is now armed with a stake. Sammy has garlic. Peter holds a crucifix. Frank unlocks the door, goes in screaming, but she isn't there anymore. Then they hear music.
What? The locked door didn't keep her in?
It's shocking,
I'm
right?
Shocked. Yeah.
They hear music that Abigail is dancing to. They can tell that it's coming from above them.
If you're immortal, you got to keep joy in your life. You know what I mean? And Abigail really loves to dance. She loves to dance.
I can understand. It's fun.
It's important to find passions in life.
I'm eating Reese's now. Sorry. While you were talking. All right.
I love that Abigail dances so much too. She's like very theatrical and she's coming after them. She's doing flips and twirls and whatnot.
I love that. So I like that in Megan. Like,
yeah, it did remind me of Megan. Yeah.
And Suspiria has dancing. There's a lot more in the remake. Apartment 7A had dancing. I like all these movies with a little bit of dancing in them. I think it's kind of fun. And it's because my kids have been in dance since the age of 4. And so I think it works for me. All right. So they find Abigail in a small theater room and she's dancing with Dean's body. Abigail drops the body, now has blood all over her, and asks them what's happening and asks if they can just talk. Sammy charges first, but Abigail knocks her to the ground. She calmly grabs the garlic and smells it before throwing it.
Did nothing.
Right. Frank runs up and is knocked down with ease. Peter picks her up and she's unable to bite him.
This is funny because she's like a very strong vampire, but she's still small.
Yeah.
So I thought that was funny that Peter just like picks her up.
Yeah.
And she's like thrashing around. Oh, she does get free, but I'm just like, yeah, I guess it's like that old thing where you put your hands on a child's forehead and they can't reach you anymore.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah. But she does get him to the ground, pulls his crucifix off and holds it with no problem and just starts stabbing him in the chest.
Stabs with the crucifix.
Ouch. It's really shallow stabs though, because it's a tiny little crucifix.
Yeah, I have to say this. The whole time Peters just keeps coming on back up. He's like, oh, I'm going to shake that off.
Frank comes up with a stake and she catches his arm and then uses the stick to pierce through his right leg. She smiles and laughs as they back out of the room. So they all make
a real fail.
Yeah, right. The group make it back to Joey, who is snacking on candy. Frank tells her not to say "I told you so" as she walks over with a medic bag ready to treat them. She goes to yank out the pool cue, But he tells her to wait, but she doesn't, and he screams.
I mean,
And
you would, a medic would know not to yank out a pool cue.
Well, she's going to tape it up, though.
I know, but you would cut around. You would cut it short, right? So it's
And
not
leave it
poking
there?
out. Yeah, until you could like stitch it up or whatever.
Maybe she stitched it up.
I guess we just maybe didn't see that part.
Yeah, I think she's got her medic bag with her, and
because I'm
I would imagine that comes with suture kit.
Okay, maybe. Because I'm like, that's 101, that you break it off so it doesn't stick out, and then you make it stable as possible. You know, I'm always talking about not pulling things.
Do you remember? Do you remember what we called First Aid 101 from Strangers Pray at Night?
No.
Take your shirt off. The stranger. That's
yeah.
First Aid 101.
Yeah, so whip that shirt off. Yeah, Joey, why is your shirt on? Yeah. That's not good. That's not good first aid, girl.
That's funny.
You need to use your shirt as a what do you call it? To hold the food. A tourniquet.
Right, yeah. Yeah. Joey asks if any of the weapons work, and Frank says that the stake worked really well going through his leg. Then she pulls out the second syringe, saying that she has a way and that she knocked her out earlier. Frank says it was an act, but Joey the medic says she really knows that she was passed out because she checked her pulse.
Well, she doesn't know what her baseline pulse is.
I know.
She was right.
Yeah.
But also she doesn't know what her baseline, like, why, maybe that's always her pulse. You know, she's a freaking vampire, but whatever.
Yeah.
I guess they don't have a lot of options, so might as well try this.
So they all spread out. They're on comms to talk to each other.
This is so dumb.
That they're spread out.
Oh, no, not this part. Sorry. The next part. Go ahead.
All right. Peter's walking around saying there's no vampire here. He clicks his earpiece, but it doesn't turn off. And he says,
yeah. This is the part I'm talking about. They all go to different parts of the house.
Right.
And they're going to call her when they see her, and she's going to come running. I'm like, this is so stupid. Why don't you guys, as I always say, go to a room with one entrance, wait for her to come to you, and then stab her. Not everybody spread out. Come on. Now she can pick you all off one by one, you dum-dums.
It's a classic trope, though. This is the spread apart and look, it's safety and non-numbers.
So dumb.
So Peter doesn't know everyone can still hear him when he's like, not that I'm actually looking. And Frank tells him that he's an idiot for the channel still open. This is where Frank walks into a room with a rat. And this is where Peter finally gets, the rat pack. I got it now. Oh, Sammy finds a chest and opens it, ready to attack, but it's empty. When Joey hears her scream, the signal starts to break up. Sammy continues down a brick hallway and bats fly out at her. She evades it and then ends up in a spider's web and falls into a pool. When she comes out, she figures out that she's in a pool full of bodies. I don't know. I mean, there's
no entrance in the house.
I mean, they must have brought them in.
Maybe the vampires like bats.
Like bats, yeah. Oh. So she realizes she's in a pool full of bodies and she starts screaming. And Frank and Joey run to hear.
Oh, the other thing is, if there's a pool full of bodies, you're smelling that. I don't care where it is in the house.
Yeah.
You're
okay.
Smell that.
You're probably right. I mean, she might Febreze often.
Oh, maybe she has one of those air pop the perfumed air, like when you have in a bathroom.
Oh, she's got those Yankee Candle plugins.
Yeah.
Those things work wonders.
She has like those melts. The melts.
Oh, yeah. The votives. Yeah. So Peter then screams over the comms and they ask if he's okay. And he says he's got a splinter from the stake. And it's a big one. Joey tells them they're a little more concerned with the bodies in the pool. And Frank asks how many bodies we're talking, like 2. And we see the large surface of the pool that's filled all the way with bodies. And Sammy screams again. We cut to Peter, who's still dealing with the splinters. And we see Abigail coming from behind him. This time when he screams, Joey tells him to stop fucking around, but he yells that the vampire's on his ass and she's coming. Peter locks the door and thinks he's got her trapped, but she bursts through the door with no problem.
Yeah, those locked doors, they really keep her out.
She chases Peter. Abigail makes time to do 2 pirouettes, just like Megan dances around.
You gotta make time for your hobbies, self-care.
Yeah. Peter keeps running. When she jumps near him and growls, Peter runs into a wall. Then Frank opens the door and hits over the railing to the floor below. Frank and Abigail have a stare down, and Joey looks up. That's when Sammy arrives, and Joey can smell her. Abigail jumps on the railing along it. jumps off the wall and pushes Frank down the stairs. Abigail slowly walks down, getting on top of him, and then asks him what the color of her eyes are. Joey comes over with the syringe, which she slaps away, and it flies past this locked gate. Frank is being strangled, is unable to get out, and is calling out for Sammy to help him. Sammy grabs Abigail from behind, and then Abigail bites her arm.
Yeah,
Peter
she's
takes
a heck of a bite.
Oh, yeah. Peter takes Abigail from the stairs and is strong enough to hold her down with her arms pinned. Joey injects her, and she is passing out as she tells them she's going to rip their heads off and gorge on their blood. Joey checks her pulse to make sure that she's knocked out. Sammy looks at the bite, which looks really bad, and asks what's going to happen to her.
Yeah, Peter miraculously survived that tumble over the banister.
Yeah, he's tough.
He pops back up.
So Abigail wakes up in a cage in the cellar room where Dean was killed, and Joey tells her that they want to talk. Abigail,
just right off the bat, I'm like, there's no way she's trapped by that cage.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah. Abigail shakes on the bars and begs to be let out. Joey tells her to cut the shit and then compliments her on pretending to be a little girl. And Abby gives a curtsy saying she's had a lot of practice, centuries of practice. Joey tells her to tell them how to get out of there and they will let her go. Abigail says no. And Sammy demands to know what's going to happen to her if she's going to turn into a vampire. And Abigail says maybe. Frank steps up to say that they're very sorry and they didn't know who she was.
You know what? I forgot to mention this.
Yeah.
This is a long ways. But I think part of the thing she says back when they thought she was still a kid and Joey's talking to her and she scares her that when I'm sorry for what's about to happen to you. She tells her that her dad is not going to, I thought she told her that her dad doesn't care. It's not going to pay the ransom.
Oh, that's right.
I completely forgot of it. That's just like a plot point.
You're right. You're right. Yeah.
But even when they thought she was a kid, she's like, my dad is not gonna come get me.
Right.
Okay. Continue.
Frank steps up to say that he's very sorry and they didn't know who she was. Abigail said they were going to beat and torture her when they thought she was a little girl. And Frank again says he was sorry. Then Abigail tells Frank that he used to work for her father, and the whole group looks at him. And then she asks them if they wonder why she brought them all there. Peter's confused, and she explains that there was never any money and that Lambert works for her. Sammy asks what she's talking about, and Abigail asks, don't you know Jesse? And we find out that Sammy's name is Jesse Herney, and she started her career siphoning money from her own parents' accounts, but then she kept going bigger and bigger until she alludes that she stole from Lassard's account. And Sammy says she can give it all back. Then she moves on to Peter, calling him Terrence LaCroix, who was muscle for the Montreal Brassard family. He stole from them and says that family is a subsidiary of the Lassard Empire. Next is Frank, who's a former detective, Adam Barrett, who tried to go deep undercover into the Lassards. He got addicted to power and freedom it provided. Then she revealed that he was the one that had turned the 3 lieutenants and that were killed in that hotel room by Abigail herself. She moves on to Joey and says her real name is Ana Lucia Cruz, who got addicted to morphine during the time in the army. And one day she was too high to do her job properly. And instead of removing a bullet, she nicked an artery of a very important man to Lassard. Abigail says that just like Frank, Joey never went back for her son. Because we find out that Frank has a family. He cut and run when he messed up.
Yeah. But also that's why I brought that up, because this is like a sore point for Abigail of parents like abandoning their children.
Right.
Because she feels like her dad kind of abandoned her in a way. Doesn't care about her anymore.
Yeah. But Joey realizes that Abigail's been doing this whole game to convince her father to have interest in her again, killing all his enemies so that he'd like her again. Joey adds that it wasn't even her father at that house that pulled the alarm. It was all part of the game. Frank doesn't believe it, but Abigail confirms that she likes to play with her food. Joey asks her who's inside the cage now, and Abigail tells them that if we let her out, she'll let 2 of them live. Peter right away asks which 2, and Sammy hits him. Abigail says it's a surprise. Frank says they should just kill her now, but she said if he wants to open the door and try it, then feel free to try again.
Yeah.
She says that the offer just expired, and now she's only going to let one of them live, the one who lets them out. Peter pulls out his gun, and Joey pulls out hers. Frank tells Peter that she's lying. If he touches that door, he's a dead man, just as the rest of them are. Peter says it's worth a try. Joey
You should ask her for a pinky promise.
Right. And Joey said he's not gonna get that pinky back if he puts that pinky through those
Yeah.
bars. Joey points out that if he touches that door, she's gonna shoot him, but he goes to touch the door anyway, so she shoots him kind of in the lower stomach or on the side.
Mm-hmm.
She says it's just a graze. If he hands her the gun, she'll go and patch him up. Joey tries to tell Sammy to
Keeps
stay.
taking those knocks and keeps on it going.
He's strong, man.
He's been stabbed multiple times. He fell over a railing and now he's gotten shot in the side. A-okay.
Yeah, maybe he's eating those Wheaties. That's what it is. Joey tries to tell Sammy to stay there with Abigail, but she says, fuck that shit, and walks upstairs. So Frank says that he can do it and she can go patch up Peter. With only Frank down there, Abigail says that the offer still stands, but he gives her a counter offer that if she tells him how to get out, he will consider letting her go free. She says that he will just leave her, and he says that his offer just expired and moves to leave her there. Then she says she will tell him, but he has to let her out immediately. He says it's a deal, and she tells him that in the library, if he pulls a book titled "And Then There Were None," it will lead to a secret passage. This book is a book by Agatha Christie that was published in 1939, though its original title was extremely racist.
No.
The book has a lot of similarities to this story, with a bunch of characters from different walks of life showing up to this island and are all accused of being responsible for a murder for which they escape justice. And the next day, the first mysterious death occurs. Back to Frank, who says thanks and starts to walk away.
This whole interaction is so funny because I'm like, there's no way either of them are telling the truth.
Oh, yeah. That's stupid. Abigail says deal's a deal. Frank comes over pretending to unlock the door.
Did a pinky promise.
He did a pinky promise, right?
Yeah.
He calls her gullible and starts to laugh at her, but then she laughs right back. He doesn't understand, and we find out that she's still playing with her food because she just shoves that door open, and it throws Frank back into the floor.
You dumb locked doors do not do anything.
Yeah, right. Abigail does some more ballet as she comes for Frank. Joey shows up and uses a tool to burst through the wood covering a window, which lets in some daylight, and this immediately hits her hand, which causes it to explode, sending blood all over Frank's face.
Yeah, there's a lot of blood in this movie, but it really picks up out of this. Yeah. There's a lot of exploding bodies and blood spraying all over the place.
Well, yeah. Well, Radio Silence is really good at using practical blood, as we've seen in Ready or Not. But I think they added some CGI, but to like touch things up. But they use practical exploding blood machines all the time.
Yeah.
But yeah, like her arm from the elbow down just goes missing, and it's amazing. So yeah, she screams like crazy. We slowly get to see it start to grow back while Joey and Frank use this opportunity to run for it. And they get to the library where there's quite a bit of sunlight coming in, and Joey and Peter run into the sunlight while Sammy is worried about stepping in.
She thinks maybe she's going to get turned into a vampire.
Right. Oh. Frank is looking for the book. Sammy eventually enters and is very happy when the light doesn't hurt her. Joey asks Frank if he's looking for some light reading.
I don't know why you would be upset to be a vampire. I mean, sounds pretty good.
Yeah, until the fact that she's a puppet.
Well, okay, so okay.
That part sucks.
She doesn't know that's going to happen.
She doesn't, right? Yeah. So he finds the book. It doesn't do anything. Which kind of
I think he's just like fucking Agatha Christie or something like that.
Yeah, right. Exactly. I think Joey runs around trying to find an exit in the fireplace and in the big vents. She tries to find something to break through the wall. We cut to some time later. The wall is pretty torn up, but no way out has been revealed. Frank says that she could stop because Abigail isn't going anywhere, but Joey tells them she's just waiting till it gets dark to come out to get them. Joey searches for Candy, but seems to be out. Sammy comes over to bond with her, talking about her kid. Frank has to ruin the moment by saying this money wouldn't change the fact that deep down, Joey is worried that she'd be a piece of shit mother. Sammy flicks Frank off on Joey's behalf and then remembers something about hacking. She says that she doesn't have to hack the locks. She just needs to find a way to reset the system. They all go off searching for it, and Frank takes no time.
Do you think this would work?
I have no idea.
Well, it doesn't matter because it doesn't work. But I'm just like, if you turn off, if everything's locked down, I would think if you turn off the electricity, it would just stay locked.
You know what? This is what happens in Die Hard. They get the FBI to turn off the electricity, and it unlocks the seventh lock. It's not supposed to open under any reason, but when the FBI turns off the electricity, it opens that seventh door.
Yeah, but I don't think in reality that would work. I think
Maybe
it would
they're
just
in Die
stay
Hard's
because you
reality.
need electricity. Yeah, well, maybe because you need electricity to make the electrical locks work. If you turn
Right,
off the electricity, they're gonna just stay how they were.
right.
But whatever, whatever. Movie logic.
Peter and Sammy are walking together.
Yeah.
As Peter starts to walk ahead, Sammy starts to hear music in her head, and she
Well,
sees
oh
the
yeah. At this point, yeah, Peter said he knows she's not a vampire because he saw her reflection
yeah,
in a
right,
tray.
yeah,
He's carrying around a silver tray. And again, I'm like, but we've not seen any evidence that vampires don't have reflections. And in fact,
yeah.
I don't think we ever see evidence of that, do
They
we?
didn't. It's not like they held up a mirror to Abigail to see,
Yeah.
because we know the garlic was wrong and the
Yeah.
crucifix was wrong.
Right. But
Yeah.
whatever.
So she looks down at the wound and sees that it's starting to heal.
Uh-oh. Or great.
Or great. Then Abigail's voice comes through, letting her know that she is now her puppet, and she tries to call for help, but she can't form the word. We see Abigail attack Peter through Sammy's body and see Sammy's body doing all the same dance,
Hmm.
which is great because both actresses have a background in dance.
Hmm.
And so they studied for a long time and they did this whole 2 to 3 minute dance that they'd practice. And they thought that the studio would only use like 10 seconds of it. But because they did so well, they used the whole dance that they memorized in this movie. And they're both doing it the whole scene. And they kept the whole thing
Remember
in the movie.
in Freaky they did that.
That's right. Yeah.
They both did the I mean not together, but they both
Right.
learned the dance.
Yeah. That's awesome. Yeah.
I,
Abigail and Sammy's voice speak together and tell Peter that he drank too much alcohol. And I guess it's because they could taste it in the blood. And they proceed to finish killing him. Sammy calls over the radio to lure the other two into a trap. Abigail plays Blood and Tears by Danzig. And we watch as Sammy and Abigail dance together. Sammy's body starts to smoke a little bit in the light. And it feels like Abigail's using Sammy to enjoy dancing in sunlight because she can't
I
normally
guess.
do that.
Yeah, they're in like a greenhouse or something. I don't understand what exactly it is, but yeah, so the sunlight's coming through the like slats in the window.
Right. Yeah.
Although
When,
not enough sunlight's coming through to grow plants, but whatever. Maybe these are low light plants.
that's what it is.
Maybe there's a crank that opens the windows. Who knows?
Maybe, yeah. So when Joey and Frank arrive, Abigail in Sammy's body is doing really bad acting over Peter's body. And she's like, oh no, she got him.
Yeah.
Joey tries to explain what happened, but Sammy tells them that she's still here, which doesn't exactly mean what they might think it means. Joey knows something's wrong and asks Sammy to come to them, but as she gets up, she tells Frank to run, but he doesn't get it. She says it a second time as they see Sammy's teeth, and then they run. They make it back to the library, and the sun has moved a lot, but there's still a little sunlight left. They stand in the light, and Abigail's voice tells them that she has always hated this room because this is where her father turned her, but there's always time to make new memories. As Sammy's body runs at them, Joey picks up the silver platter, kind of using it like a shield, but it reflects the sun, and Sammy's body just explodes all over them. Joey
Yep.
picks up the silver platter. Comically, Joey has the platter shield over his face and upper body, while Frank just has his arms, like so they're covered with blood.
Yeah.
Frank asks how they're going to deal with the real problem, and a secret door behind the library opens. So there's only two people left, which is
Frank and Joey.
Frank and Joey, right?
Oh, and Abigail.
Sure. Right. So they both know it's a trap that the door that opened, but they say they got to go anyway. They make it to a control room where they're seeing footage of earlier in the night being played by Lambert. Frank tries to go for him, but he quickly finds out that Lambert too is a vampire. So he says he has a deal, which Joey rejects, and he pins her by the throat, explaining that the deal is for Frank. And he explains that
there's something happened. Why did Lambert get turned into a vampire? There's something.
Yeah, he said he got caught 2 years ago because he helped turn the 3 lieutenants over.
Mm-hmm.
And so when Lessard found that out, he turned Lambert into the vampire and has made him work for Abigail since, getting her victims to the house.
Oh yeah, that's right. He helps. He helps with the victims.
Frank says, why would he volunteer to be a puppet? And Lessard says that he'll make him a full-fledged vampire with his own autonomy. And so Joey, who's still being choked, noticed all their phones are kept in that room. So he does turn Frank, and he drops Joey, who's passed out at this point. But she does wake back up. She goes for her phone while Lambert bites Frank. And then he gives Frank some of his own blood, which is the process to turn Frank. Afterwards, he starts spewing up blood
Yep.
and projectile vomiting.
Yeah, gross.
Lambert notices Joey and tells Frank to meet his first victim. When Frank comes over, though, he stabs Lambert right through the chest from behind, which causes a massive amount of blood to go everywhere, and Joey just continues to
Everyone
have more and
double
more blood.
crossing everyone.
Yeah, exactly. Frank is also covered with blood, pulls off his glasses, and he says he feels great, and it seems like becoming a vampire has fixed his eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Joey picks up her steak and begs him not to come for her, but he tells her that she better fucking run. That's when Frank hears Abigail enter. Abigail realizes Lambert's failed plan and laughs, but says that the game ends here and attacks Frank. But Frank gets the upper hand.
If Frank had made Joey a vampire, they might have been able to take Abigail.
He tries.
No, he doesn't ever try. Oh, he tries to
Right.
make her a puppet, but I'm saying like sure to actually make her a vampire.
Yeah, maybe.
No, she wouldn't.
But
like that
if he gave her own autonomy, he'd have no way of controlling her. He was trying to make
also,
her puppet.
I'm pretty sure father whatever would have got them. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I'm assuming that's why Lambert didn't turn on Abigail until now, is because he was afraid that quote unquote father was gonna get him.
Right.
But anyway.
So Joey, who has her phone, finds a little place to hide and tries to call her son. And it's a little trick when it sounds like he answers, but it's like, haha, I tricked you. You got my voice message. And so when the beep finally happens, it's like she's thrown off by this. And I was all teared up and it's hard to say anything, but she basically gets out that she loves him a lot.
Yeah.
Frank breaks through the door, pulls her into the library. She tells him that she's going to kill him, and he picks her up and throws her to the second floor of the library. He jumps up there to continue the fight, and after a few more throws, she asks him why he doesn't kill her, and he responds, where's the fun in that? Joey has a strong spirit and attacks. Frank holds her over the edge by the throat and says he's going to make her his fucking puppet and then go see her kid and make her kill him. He throws Joey down to the lower level, and in comes running and sliding to catch her is Abigail. Joey is at first scared, but Abigail makes a deal, saying that if she helps her kill Frank, she will let her go. Frank comes down, and Abigail tells him that if he wants to kill her, he has to drain her. She then takes off her tiara and starts the attack. Joey jumps in, holding him by the neck with a metal spike from the broken railing, while Abigail jumps on. So they work together. He uses that stake to impale her against the wall, her being Joey, and she's stuck there for a little bit. And he is draining Abigail at one point, and Abigail sticks out her pinky like you promised to help. He very painfully pulls Joey away from the spike and bites her, asking her if she's ready to join his team. He then kicks her and tells her to wake up, calling her his puppet, even though it took hours for Sammy to become a puppet.
Yeah.
Frank gives Joey the steak and says he's ready to play his game like he's Jigsaw or something. He tells Joey to pick up the steak, and she does. She looks rather robotic when she does it. He then orders her up, which she does.
Like Frank says to pick up the steak, like Simon says.
Right, yeah. And then he orders her to kill the girl. But after 4 steps, she turns the steak on him. He throws Joey, and Abigail jumps on him again, laughing at him because he thought he could make her his puppet. While they fight, Joey's able to get Spike out where it is stuck and use it to pin his mouth open so he can't bite Abigail. Joey is thrown, but Abigail comes in with a spike and tries to get down to his chest, but he holds her back. Joey comes over to press it down, and right before it goes in, Abigail tells him that the thing about vampires is it takes a long fucking time to learn how to do the really cool shit. And as they stab him, his body explodes with such force that both of them are thrown to different sides of the room, and the library is flooded with blood.
And also well, flooded, like guts too.
Yeah, right.
Joey's like picking out like pieces of body, whatever, off her. Ugh, gross.
So they sit up, and Abigail tells Joey thank you. Joey asks, am I? And Abigail tells her that she's fine now that he's dead. They stand up, and the camera is set to center frame, and behind them is the statue of Abigail and her father. Joey says she's going to go. Abigail tells her she hopes she gets back to Justin, and Joey tells her his name is actually Caleb, which Abigail admits she already knew. And that's unfortunately when Eleazar shows up, who's father. Father.
Again, a very hunky actor, not looking hunky.
Right, yeah.
Not looking hunky.
I mean, I guess they do that
He has
for
social
women all the
sharks.
time in movies too, right? They
What?
try to make them
Oh, they make him
uglier.
like a quote nerd or whatever, and
Right,
then
right, right. Yeah.
I guess it's true.
Father wants to drink Joey's blood, but Abigail jumps in, which seems to piss him off. She pleads with him, saying that she was there to save her when he was not. Her begging seems to work, and he tells Joey that she needs to go because it's getting really close to supper time. So she goes outside into that plumbing van and finds the candy in her pocket, which she couldn't find earlier. I don't know, for some reason. And then Burn My Tongue by Gene Dawson plays, and it says, in loving memory of Angus Cloud, who played Dean, who died 3 weeks after his 25th birthday. And the credits roll.
She's eating a white dum dum. That's not a good flavor.
She
What
just
what
needs to
flavor could
not.
that possibly be? Like pineapple or like coconut or something? No, not a good flavor.
No,
No,
maybe
not in my opinion.
not in your opinion.
No,
What if it was like in a colada, like a pina colada with the
I don't
pineapple?
like pina colada.
All right.
No, that's just my personal opinion.
The F bomb is used 204 times in this movie.
It's funny.
And
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, what's your question?
No, that's completely off topic.
Oh, okay.
I was gonna talk about. I was going on about Matthew Good again.
Oh, okay.
That the first movie I ever saw him in was a classic, Chasing Liberty with Mandy Moore.
Okay.
Was that a bad movie? I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I'm sure I own the DVD.
Yes, it was. But was Matthew Good very hunky in that movie? Yes, he was. And he's older, but still hunky. Still.
In an interview with Kevin Durant, who played Peter, he mentions that he also had a background in ballet, but he also studied jazz and hip hop dancing as well for his musical theater rounds.
Oh, you didn't get to do any dancing though.
No, it just came up in the interview. It's like, oh yeah, I forgot that I have a dancing background. Like, yeah, that's kind of cool. The movie was filmed in Ireland, but they used all American made cars, which helps sell the fact that it's supposed to be in America.
I mean, in a way, it was like a bottle episode, kind of. Well, it wasn't all in one room, but it was all in one house, and it was only like a handful of actors. It wasn't very many characters in this movie.
Yeah, I liked it. I like movies like that.
Like you look at the credits, and it was only how many of them were there? 5 of them, and then was it 5? Whatever.
Joey, Frank, Rickles, Sam, Peter, and Dean. 6.
And then Abigail and quote father, and then
Lambert.
Yeah, Lambert.
Yeah.
So wasn't very many. Anyway.
Yeah.
Has nothing to do with anything.
So Sammy's dancing wasn't originally in the script, but when they hired Catherine Newton and realized that she could dance, they added the scene so they could throw in more dancing. And they were very surprised when they asked Danzig if they could use this song, and he said yes, they used it in the movie. It's kind of cool. I like Radio Silence. I think they make really good movies. I like their Ready or Not.
It's a fun movie. I don't know why people didn't want to go see it. Like you said, I guess it was just they're like, oh, I already know what's going to happen in this movie.
Yeah, which is unfortunate. I don't know. I know that the average person doesn't go see as many movies as I do, as it's June and I've already seen 9 movies in theater.
Yeah.
But I
was thinking like you don't want it to seem just like it's like a kidnapping movie, like a heist movie or whatever, because then people are going to be like, if you don't like this kind of movie, you're going to be
if
upset.
You don't tell.
But I feel like you could have filmed the trailer in a way that like something scary is happening in the house, but you don't know what it is.
Yeah,
like
maybe,
there's some kind of monster in the house, but you don't know that it's Abigail.
Yeah, I guess you could have tried.
Like,
yeah,
maybe don't name the movie Abigail.
Right. And then there were none.
Yeah, exactly.
That gives it away too. And then you have the rights to that title, I guess.
Yeah.
But they were able to say it in the movie, so I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know.
Anything else you want to say about it?
No, I don't think so.
All right.
What's your favorite part of the movie?
Oh, my favorite part? Oh, definitely that dance scene between the two of them. But the jokes are funny. The moment I laugh out the most are like scenes with Peter. I like Peter and Catherine Newton's character Sammy's relationship. Yeah, that was a lot of fun.
Funny. Yeah.
Yeah.
They all were kind of funny except for our main character Joey wasn't funny, and then wasn't really funny, and then what's his name? Rickles wasn't really funny. But everybody else was pretty funny.
Yeah, Dean was funny too. That's a good point.
I mean, yeah, even Abigail was kind of funny.
What's your favorite part?
Yeah, I just liked every time that Abigail is like hitting people, but she's doing like an arabesque or whatever. She's just like dancing.
That's right. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is funny.
My favorite part was every time you saw Dan Stevens' beautiful baby blue eyes.
Is that what it is? Okay.
They were piercing into my soul.
It's funny. That's awesome. All right. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. This has been Nightmare Echoes. We have new episodes every Monday, so please check us out.
Oh wait, something that I keep forgetting to do, by the way, is to say if it's chicken certified.
Oh, yeah.
So scary, I say yes, chicken certified, but gore, no. If you don't like gore, this is not for you because it's super gory.
My
So-
8-year-old made it all the way until the Sammy turned into a vampire, and then he couldn't do it anymore.
Yeah.
So
it's real
that
gross
helped.
at the end. So yeah, if gore doesn't turn you off, then it's perfectly fine and not scary. But yeah, if gore turns you off,
Right.
do not watch this.
All right. Please leave a 5-star review in your podcast app of choice, and hope you get to hear us next time. Bye.
And let us know what you think will be up on the old Instagram.
Yeah. Bye.
Joey, so Joey's been stabbed to the shoulder with a metal pipe or whatever.
Yeah.
Or like a rebar, and so now she's stuck because if she pulls that out, she's probably gonna bleed out.
Yeah. Well, she's got a
Oh wait, that doesn't happen. This is an epic movie, and they're just always pulling things out of people's bodies. Whatever. But anyway, yeah.
So
yeah, she does like her little pinky to tell Joey, pinky promise.